Hey guys, it's Olivia here from Olivia's Catastrophe, and today I'm here to unhaul some books that I no longer need on my shelf. I returned home from my year abroad and I decided it's time to clear inventory. I removed everything that I rated 2 stars from my shelf except for one book, which is Alice in Wonderland, because I'm going to give that a second chance. And I also unhauled some other books that I really didn't want to just keep around anymore for different reasons. So I've got 22 books here to show you, and let's go through them. So the first book I have to talk about is Uprooted by Naomi Novik. I know that this is a popular one on booktube and everywhere and lots of people like it, but this was just not the book for me. I read it and I found that I was really concerned with the representation of sexual assault in this one. It's only like one moment in this book, but it did enough for me to be turned off of it. Didn't like Dragon, who is the love interest, and so it got 2 stars from me and it's going away. I'm also unhauling Throne of Glass and Crown of Midnight by Sarah J Maas. I had these 2 copies that were gifted to me secondhand. However, Bloomsbury has been kind enough to give me the whole series in miniature edition, so I don't need doubles on my shelves. Then we'll be giving away Shiver and Linger by Maggie Stiefvater. So I did read Shiver before I read The Raven Cycle and I absolutely hated it, and I have not read Linger because I didn't like the first one, and I didn't read The Raven Cycle for years because I disliked these 2 so much. However, then I read The Raven Cycle and fell in love with it, and now that I know that I love some books by Maggie Stiefvater, I don't feel a need to hold on to books that I did not love by Maggie Stiefvater. Then we have The Winner's Curse by Mary Rutkowski. I just found this book to be everything I didn't really like or enjoy. She falls in love with a slave and then is kind of mad when the slave wants to rebel against the system. Excuse me? He doesn't have rights. He is allowed to rebel against them. I kept this around because it has a beautiful cover. I decided to get rid of them because a beautiful cover is not enough to keep this girl down. Another one I kept because of the beautiful cover, even though I didn't like it, was Winter Song by S.J. Jones. I read this one and I found the sex representation in this for teenagers a bit problematic. I don't think you should be begging someone to have sex with you when they said no. That's kind of unnecessary, and I just didn't really enjoy the plot. I liked that it featured goblins. I wish there were more books with goblins in them that I could enjoy. There's probably some out there, I just need to find them, but yeah, didn't really like this one, so it can go to someone else who did. Then we have The Girl on the Train by Paula Hawkins. Now, remember when I hauled this one in and I said, I thought I already had this book. But I actually didn't. Yeah, I already had it and I just didn't really like it. Didn't hate it, but it just wasn't what I wanted it to be. It wasn't a very good thriller. All the characters are just a bit too eccentric, a bit too crazy for me. So I know that my younger sister enjoyed this book, so she'll be getting one of them, and because this hardcover is just like new, I'll be giving it away. I'll also be giving away some of these other ones, so just stay tuned on my social media. I know that I can't give away anything at the moment, but I will be once, you know, sending things is easier and all countries are able to receive packages, because I know some are not. I will be doing some giveaways here, Twitter, Instagram, so if you don't mind getting a secondhand book, do check those out. Next up we have Black Leopard Red Wolf by Marlon James. I held on to this one a bit since last year just because it's signed and personalised towards me and it was a hardcover, and I cashed out on this one. I cashed out and I rated it 1 star, so it wasn't worth that cash out. But yeah, I'm gonna give it away to anybody who doesn't mind it being signed and personalised to somebody else. Absolutely hated that book, would not recommend to anyone, but you know, there's some people out there who do enjoy it. And then we've got The Great Gatsby by F. Scott Fitzgerald. This was another classic that I just hated. The female representation in it is rubbish, and I feel like the story is kind of didn't really care about the story. I got this one for free when my school was moving schools, so it's a very old copy, just pass it on to someone else. Then The Island by M.A. Bennett. This one just makes me want to cry inside because I was so excited to get this arc, because I do like Lord of the Flies and it's Lord of the Flies retelling. There were just so many problematic elements to this book that I could not enjoy it and I need to pass it on. The next book I have to talk about is Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde by Robert Louis Stevenson. I actually really like this classic, and this is a leather-bound silver sprayed edges kind of edition, and it's beautiful, but I was recently gifted another copy of this book which I like more than this one, even though this one is beautiful. But I know my sister loves this book, so I will give her this edition because she doesn't have it yet. Then we have Gaudy Night by Dorothy L. Sayers. So this one is a crime fiction mystery that's a classic, and I had to read it for school last year for my crime fiction class, but I didn't like it at all. I kind of hated it, and it's over 500 pages, so it was just a bit too long. I'm going to sell it on to somebody who will have this module in the future. Then we have Joe Cinque's Constellation by Helen Garner, which was another one I read but didn't really like, and I talked about it in my March wrap up. I do have to hold on to it until at least June, when my class for Australian literature ends, just so I know I won't need it for any essays or anything like that, but after that I will definitely be giving this one away. Then we have The Guinea Pig's Nutcracker, which is a cute little picture book that was gifted to me by Bloomsbury, and I absolutely adored it. It was so amazing, and I would have kept it on my shelf if it wasn't for my best friend, who has a cute guinea pig called Pepper, who she loves, and admittedly I love too, but I know she loves her guinea pig, and I just think she's going to get so much enjoyment out of this that I want to pass it on to her. Then we have State of Wonder by Anne Patchett, and I've had this on my shelf for so long in my TBR pile, and I've never gotten to it, and I've just read more and more reviews of her books that have just made me think they are not for me at all, so I just need to give it away because I'm not going to get to it. Next up we have Shadow Air by Rochelle Mead. I think this is the 4th book in its series, and I don't own the other ones, and I'm not interested in reading the series anymore, so while I think this is a brand new book that's the 4th in a series, I just have to get rid of it. I don't even know how I got it or why I got it. It's from several years ago. Then we have Engler in a Donker by Lauren Kate. Angels in the Dark by Lauren Kate is the translation, and these are novellas to the Fallen series. I have not read the Fallen series, but I just wanted to read a book in Dutch, so I read these novellas in Dutch, which were okay. Didn't really get it much because I haven't read the series, but yeah, don't need to keep it. It was just a good little like practice my Dutch. And last but not least, we're going to talk about some review copies that I got from indie authors several years ago when I first started blogging, and it was much harder to get asked international bloggers, which, you know what, it still is. So when indie authors wanted to work with me, I was always very honoured. And the first one I want to talk about is Marked by Laura Williams McCaffrey, and this was the first ever ARC that was sent my way by a publisher, and while I thought it was a middle of the road read, I just had to keep this book because it was the first ARC I ever got back in 2016, and it was a memento to me. But now that I've got some other ARCs and I've just, you know, I've progressed a bit more in my blogging life, I feel like I don't need to hold on to it anymore, so I can let you go. Then I'm just going to quickly run through the titles of the rest of these. All of these, except for the one I'm going to show you now, I have reviews of on my blog, and I will leave links down to those below. So you've got The Wild Horses of Hiroshima by Paul Zylindes, Looking for Day by David A. Wilson, Cathadeus by Jeff J. Peters, and Open and Read by James P. Burns III. And there you have it. Those are the 22 books that will be departing and leaving from my shelf so that I can make some space for some new books. Please let me know in the comment section down below. Have you read any of these and what did you think? Have you done a recent unhaul? And if you have, what books did you get rid of? Thank you so much for watching this video. Please give it a thumbs up if you enjoyed it. Hit the subscribe button if you want to see more, and don't forget to hit that notification bell to be updated every time I have a new video. And you know what they say, onwards and upwards, Excelsior.